Evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ghost Education 101. I am super excited about this topic today. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I know it's a sensitive topic among many in the paranormal field, but I could not have gotten a better group of paranormal researchers to help with it. You guys are noticing Philip's not here today, but he is popping up in the comments. We're kind of giving him the day off, so he's going to be giving his input through the comments and helping us out from there. But today we are joined by Bill Slevin, and if I get your team's name wrong, just correct me, but it's Paranormal Existence Research Society.
Correct.
Larry Lawson from Florida Bureau of Paranormal Investigations, and he also hosts Indian River Hauntings. The two are here in Vero Beach. And then Nick Carboni is Old World Paranormal Society. And of course, you have me, your host, Heather Lee. And if you guys have any questions along the way, just let us know. You see an orb behind me, Philip. That's funny. Oh, there is the TV. But yes, that's kind of a segue into our show today. We are going to be talking about orbs. We will be starting off the show, of course, by introducing our guests to you, getting you a chance to get to know them, ask questions about who they are. We're going to talk a little bit about orbs, but then I've downloaded a whole bunch of different videos and photos that we're all going to kind of analyze and give our opinion on. But feel free to give your opinion as well. We're kind of curious to see what everybody has to say about these. So let's get started. Who wants to kick things off with telling everybody who you are, what your experience is, and have you ever seen a real orb?
Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead, Bill.
Bill's just aching to get jumping on that one.
I'm not saying anything yet. No. My name's Bill Slevin. I'm the founder and lead investigator for the Paranormal Existence Research Society, and I'm also the regional director for the Southeast U.S. for the Warren Legacy Foundation. I've been doing this for about 35 years now. As far as orbs, it's one of the big things I talk about a lot in my lectures. And if anybody's on here from any of the groups I'm in, you definitely know me arguing with people about orbs. As far as true orbs, I've seen 3 in my lifetime of doing this. I've done well over, 5, 6, 700 homes, and I've seen 3 with my own eyes. I know nobody in the field personally that has ever captured one on film. I know people have been doing it 40 years and never even seen one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll go next.
Go ahead, Larry.
Okay. My name is Larry Lawson. I'm a retired law enforcement officer and criminal justice educator. I am the founder of the Florida Bureau of Paranormal Investigation down in Vero Beach, Florida, and the owner of Indian River Hauntings, a historical ghost tour operation down here also. I also have a radio TV show, Paranormal Stakeout, which Heather was with me not too long ago on, and I've been researching and investigating the paranormal regularly since about 2010. My feelings on orbs, generally speaking, if you get it on camera, it's dust, bugs, or moisture, in my opinion. However, the one key to this whole field of investigation research is to keep an open mind, but you also have to keep it real. So.
Okay. Nick?
Yeah. Keep it real. I'm Nick Carboni, founder of Old World Paranormal Society here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Also have Old World Paranormal Podcast. You can search it on any podcast format you would like. If you guys have ever heard of the Bell Mansion here in Fort Wayne, pretty much me and my team are the ones that founded the place. Unfortunately, we are no longer a part of that. We decided to part ways, but hey, that's life. As far as orbs go, it's a fascinating topic. It does ruffle a lot of feathers in the paranormal community. From the newbies all the way to people like Bill that's been in it since back in the 1850s when we were doing the spiritualism and stuff like that. I can only recall I've only seen an orb visually once. It was on a residential case. Actually, we were doing a clearing during the time, and I was blown away by it. Now, as far as the cameras and stuff go, 98.9% of them can be explained. When you talk about orbs and manifestations, I don't know. I've seen some videos where a light anomaly has come in from a hallway did a 90-degree turn, came into a room, literally went into a spirit box, and you heard a voice come through it. Is that a spirit? Can it be explained? I don't know. Can dust come in from one area, do 90 degrees, and then is it a coincidence that at that specific time? I don't know. But I'm like everybody else, 98.9% of the time, it can be explained. It's a lens flare, it's dust, it's cobwebs, you name it. It's a bug. But there are those rare cases, and I see a lot of people, they argue on social media about this. And I tend to stay out of it because I'm a smart ass. So I'll just take that next level, to be honest with you. But being from a person, like Larry, he runs, some haunted stuff, when you're in the public eye and you're interacting with the public, and a lot of the people are new, and they show you pictures, and I just tend to be like, you know what, that great photo, good job, and I just walk away. To me, there's no point in arguing with them or trying to downgrade what they thought they.
Oh yeah, we should never do that.
No.
That's just
I try
my
to educate them. Yeah, I try to educate them, and I'm always, for the most part, I'm nice, and you should see what things I get. Heather knows. Heather's seen a lot.
I can tell when you're starting to get upset.
But I stop most of the time.
You do. You do.
But you know what I tell people, even in like when I do my lectures, from what in all my years of experience, education, everything, and the three I've seen, what a true orb is believed to be is a spirit trying to manifest itself into the room. Mm-hmm. So it pulls energy from the room, which is why I believe most of the time nobody captures it, because it pulls energy. The ones I saw drained everything, every battery in the cameras, everything went dead. And this is a long time ago. So it pulls the energy. And I watched the first one I ever saw. I watched it go from about this big to about this big. It actually grew in front of you, and it produces its own light. It literally is a 3D ball of energy that glows. And I tell people with the night vision cameras, what I truly believe, I've never seen it happen because, again, you don't capture it. But if that thing flew into a room and you had your little CCTV on or your Ring camera, it would actually trick it into daylight mode, because it would look like you flipped a lamp on in the house. And it would actually trick it. Now, if you're, investigating and you have a camera set to night vision, it's not going to flip it. But the ones in the house, I believe it would flip it, because the amount of light that was coming off of the ones I saw were crazy. And, it's a very different. You can feel it pulling the energy from the room. Mm-hmm. It's something that I tell people, if they experience it, they're going to totally know what I'm saying, and they're going to understand.
Yeah, they're going to see it. They're going to see it without the help of a camera. That's, I think, the big key. I've not seen one. I'll be honest with you. My son has. We were in a cemetery in the central part of Florida and clearly saw one. And so when you visualize it like that, you've got it. Now, I got to be honest with you, to say for 100% something on a camera couldn't be, well, that's almost being as close-minded as the other side. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. But I agree with what Nick says. 98.9% of the time, it's going to be explainable, and it's going to be a lens flare. It's some sort of a light reflecting off moisture, dust.
Right.
So,
it can't be. Obviously, we can't say 100% of the time. But there are a few I've seen that I wasn't sure about. It's hard to explain, but that's what I tell people. Paranormal is the unexplained. If we can explain it, it can't be paranormal. There's a difference. I mean, you hear so many people. I've heard every possible excuse and think, well, no, dust doesn't go in different directions. Airflow. The room. One of my favorites was, I said it's a piece of dust, and it was going through. You could see it going through the airflow. And they said, no, there's no airflow in the room. There's no air conditioning. There's no fan. I said,
there's movement.
You have a door?
Yeah. There's always some type of air movement.
And if they're filming it with their hand, they got their camera like this. And I'm going, just you moving your arm like this creates enough airflow to move a piece of dust.
But But don't you guys think that one of the reasons why orbs have become so popular in this generation is because it gets built up by, well, I run a tour organization. There's a lot of tour organizations that take folks to a spot. They'll take a picture in an area. Look at all the orbs. There's activity here when it's really just the dust in the air. But it does help get people excited. So do you think that maybe sometimes
it's great for tours?
There you go.
Yep.
No, it is. It is. I'll agree. I won't, I won't go against somebody that I see that has to do with a tour because it's a totally different thing than like what I'm doing, But I could tell you
I do not do that. I will tell you right now.
But I can tell you straight off the bat, ghost and gravestones up in St. Augustine. One of the things I talk about in my lectures is I have a picture with a lens flare. It's what I took out by the outside the old jail at the gallows. And it's a really cool looking photo. It's a big purple streak across the thing, but I know what it is. And this is probably 15 years ago. I posted it on my Facebook page and I said, oh, cool picture or interesting capture or something. I did not say it was something. And the next day, Ghost and Gravestones had it on the front page of their website, and they put my tag under it or whatever. But what's funny is I always talk about this. And again, it's 15 years ago. Well, about 4 days ago, my Instagram feed popped up with Ghost and Gravestones, and it had my picture. They reposted my picture the other day, and promoting the tour without a tag this time. But I was laughing because it does. If you see that, you're going to go, "Wow, I want to go on that tour." Somebody captured something. I get it.
Well, do you think also because people want to believe? They want to believe they've caught something. They want the excitement. And that's certainly that's got to fuel a whole lot of it. I constantly get pictures from folks. Some of them I can't explain. I'll tell you right now, I've seen some pictures of orbs or videos where I think, Nick, you talked about it earlier. They do a 90-degree turn.
Right.
Tough. It is tough to explain that sometimes. So that's why I can't say it with 100%. But I get pictures all the time, and it gets people excited, I guess.
Right.
I want to comment on this Pam ladies.
Yeah, I was saving them. So go ahead. Which one?
Okay. Pam Welling. I want to answer her question.
Mm-hmm.
So she said it's okay if it's a tour. That's fraud. No. Okay. And this is the reason why. So if somebody comes and buys a ticket for Larry's haunted experience, or
Larry doesn't do that. Okay. I want to make sure that's clear.
No, guys, seriously, let me play this out for you because this makes perfect sense. Everybody in the paranormal field complains about the TV shows, okay, and the fact that that's not how real paranormal investigating is. Okay, you're telling the public, somebody that's not a normal paranormal investigator, researcher, anything like that, they watch the TV shows and they come out to these locations and they're paying to either go on a tour or an investigate, and they're expecting to get interaction right away because you get it in a 45-minute TV show. Mm-hmm. Well, the problem is the TV shows are entertainment, correct? They need TV ratings. They need this. They need that to stay on TV. Now, when you buy a ticket for a tour or you buy a ticket to go investigate somewhere, you're paying for entertainment.
I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit on that.
I'm not saying to fake anything at all.
Right.
That's not what I'm getting at. But what I'm getting at, it's not fraud per se. That if somebody, you're telling the stories of other people or other investigators that's been in there. Okay, let's say you're giving a ghost tour. Okay, now you talk about the experiences. Now people, that were in the tour, they come back the next day per se, and they're showing you pictures of this hallway and like, look at these orbs. Are you going to sit there and badmouth them or tell them, no, this and this? That's why I'm saying it's not fraud. They're paying for a service.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there, Nick. But what I do is say, look, this is my opinion. I never put anybody down. Certainly, everybody has the right to their opinion. I think that's an important thing that we're missing overall in this country, that people have a right to their opinion. But I give them my evaluation, my personal thought on what it is, and they can either choose to believe it or not believe it. But That I guess I would not say, oh yeah, that's an orb, man. It's got to be a spirit. No, I would never do that. But on the same token, I'm not going to say you're a fool for believing it. I'm going to say this
Right.
is what I believe that it is, and they've got the right to take it any way they want. But I can tell you right now, I do not try to enhance their a wrong belief. I can only give them my thought, and they can take
yeah,
it.
you're giving me your experiences and your opinions on it. It's no different than beginning of a tour. And I'm like,
right.
Outside, I seen a full apparition of, a lady. She was 5'2". She's in a white t-shirt and blue jeans. Okay, well, I can't prove that to you right now, but you're going to take my story because I had that experience, but I can't prove that to you because I didn't have any video evidence of it.
Right.
I saw it visually.
Mhm.
That's why what I'm getting at is just she said it's fraud. I don't think it's fraud.
No, and what I meant by it was okay, I didn't mean it was okay. What I mean is if I'm online and I'm in these groups and people are posting pictures and asking for advice, I'm going to tell them. But if I see somebody, even somebody I know or even somebody I don't know that's has to do with a ghost or anything like that, and somebody posts a picture of, oh, I was there last night, look what I captured, I'm not going to go out of my way to go on there and say anything because as long as they don't say, look, this person came last night and captured a ghost. If they just post, here's the picture that somebody captured last night. I don't see any harm in that for a tour.
I wouldn't
I would agree with that.
I wouldn't repost it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't social media be like, hey, look what this person caught last night on our tour. Okay, that just makes
they post them. Other people post them and tag, and they'll put it there because it does bring people in.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't see anything wrong with that, but
I need to have you guys on more often. You guys just take off and start talking. I'm not needed anymore. No.
Well, I say, and even though I will tell folks what I think it is. I never put anybody down because I've seen organizations that have done that. They literally would have panels of people, and people would come in and show their evidence, and the panel would sit above them, looking down, saying, "Oh no, I decree that your evidence is wrong." And no, you can't do that. But all we can do, and I think, Bill, you said it perfectly, is all we can do is educate.
Right.
Educate, show them what we believe it is based upon our experience, our training, our research, and then they've got the right to take it anywhere they want, just as long as we don't feed into it like it's a TV show. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
She's saying they deliberately fake. Yeah, that's something totally different. You should never fake any evidence or anything.
No.
Some do. What they do is, if I've been on tours where they say, we encourage everybody take pictures and make sure you use your flash because it captures orbs. I've heard them say it. Yeah, of course it captures orbs. It creates orbs.
Or they have someone out in the field with a flashlight.
Right. Yeah. That I was just referring to the fraud part. That was it.
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page as far as everything. I was just more referring to the fraud part. But I mean, if you're out there like Ghost Hunt USA or something like that, faking evidence to get tickets, then yeah, you should be shut down.
Yeah.
Well, that hurts all of us.
I try, and I see one of the people, I see my wife's on. I see Amy is in here. She was at one of my lectures, and I know her. I lose some people when I start talking about this at the lectures. Some don't really want to hear it. I've actually had clients of mine at my lectures purposely so that they would hear this and see that it's not directed right at them, but maybe they would understand it. And then nothing. They come right up afterwards and like, let me show you one more picture.
Well, last year at Phantasm, I was cornered by a lady because you were busy and Chris and Joe were busy, and she cornered me, and she had like photo after photo and then video footage, and it was all orbs, and I'm sitting there smiling, like trying to be nice. And I'm like, can somebody come play? It's like I didn't want to ruin her experience, but it's like, okay.
That's where, I'll be honest with you, that's where it gets iffy for me. And I like to always be honest and straight, and I usually tell it how it is. I'm not rude, but when I'm doing shows and I have people coming up and showing me, and I won't. It's a tough call. You don't want to be like, listen, I'm sorry, because they're so excited to show you this photo. I'll never say, oh, yes, that's something. If I see something that I'm not 100% sure of, maybe I'll say, that's interesting. I don't know. I need to know more of the backstory, who was there, what was going on. But, sometimes you feel bad because they're so excited to show you this photo
Yeah.
and tell you the story. And,
And
I
then
don't
she's
want to, I don't want to.
zooming in as far as she can. She's like, look, I don't think I've said that's nice and that's interesting that many times in one conversation.
Well, you don't want to douse the excitement, because let's face it, we could talk about how the TV shows have made a very unrealistic view of what we do. But on the same token, the TV shows are what have brought a lot of people into it and have ended up getting some very fine investigators out of it, because what they saw excited them. So you got to find the good in all of it, and you don't want to destroy somebody's energy, if you will.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
Those
That's
two
spot
things
on,
about the
Larry.
shows.
Yeah, it's true. I've got a thought. I think I know how we can solve this problem. In my opinion.
Hold on.
He's gonna.
Look at
No,
us.
all kidding aside. Here's a thing that I'm a big stickler on, something that I'm really trying to purport to the field, and that is come up with some sort of structure and standardization of training in the field overall. Now, everybody investigates different. No, you can't sit here and say you must do it this way every time.
Right.
But how I describe things, if being a cop, we have a homicide down here in Vero Beach, and you have a homicide up in Spokane, Washington. There's going to be some rules differences between states and stuff, but essentially how I investigate the homicide here is how the detectives in Spokane, Washington will investigate the homicide. What I'm getting at is this: is we've got a standard of training that we've gone through, that everybody knows the procedure. If we could somehow in our field come up with a standard for, let's just say, orbs, how they're taken, what their shape is, color, that sort of thing, and we can start to get everybody on the same page, I believe not only with orbs, but all kinds of evidence, we're going to start having more success in corroborating our evidence and maybe actually coming up with some answers. So that's just a personal thing with me.
Yep.
So
there's a team up here in Elkhart, Indiana. It's about an hour and 15 minutes north of here. And when they first came down to the Bell Mansion, I was giving them their tour. So they booked a place privately. And while they're on the tour, they were acting really weird. They were just looking at things weird, just discussing it. I'm like, okay, it's just an interesting group. Well, they come to find out, they were all police detectives and crime investigators. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. They're going at it a different way, a different approach. And I liked it. I mean, we became good friends. I investigate with them quite often. And I'd agree with you, Larry. I mean, if we can come up with some type of structure for people that legitimately want to get into the field to search for answers. I mean, some people are just not going to do it. They're just
they're thrill seekers. Yeah, there's paranormal thrill seekers, like guys that want to jump out of perfectly good airplanes. They're doing it for the thrill. And there's folks in our business that do it for the thrill. And that's okay. That's okay. There's room for everybody. But I'm just thinking, if we want to truly come up with a plan that we're all working on the same page, generally speaking, we got to come up with a plan. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, David, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm sorry I'm late.
No, that's
we
fine.
were recording our season premiere for our show on Paraflix, so I apologize of jumping in the middle of this conversation. So how is everyone doing?
Good. Yep, we're just starting off by talking about what orbs are and answering a few questions, and I saved the good stuff for when you joined us.
So who am I going to piss off first?
Nobody on this panel.
I don't think anyone on the panel.
I was wondering if you guys wanted me to get a towel real quick and to just kind of flop it out so all the orbs would be flying around my camera, and I can say like there's 50 spirits in my room right now, or no?
That's one of my favorite things when I'm arguing with somebody on one of the groups and they won't accept it. And I'm going, okay, so you truly believe that there's 500 ghosts flying through your house because the place was filled? And I'm like, they don't just travel in packs and go from house to house. No. There's got to be a little common sense.
Well, what do you think about of like say if you get something like on a DRV or something like that of a voice come through and then you see something come across the camera, do you think it's still Do you think it's still just like a bug or some dust coming over, or what do you think? I mean, because there are some things that we have to think about with orbs. I mean, we can totally dismiss them of like I kind of do all the time, but there are some things that are interesting of like when something comes through and then you're just like kind of like, okay, well, that was kind of weird.
Well, we can't dismiss everything. Just we
Sure.
have to keep an open mind.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I think that's an important part of what you're asking. I'm sorry, Bill. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, not at all. I agree. And like we were saying, it all depends. Like Larry was saying before, the main thing is, did you see it with your eyes or did you see it on the camera?
Yeah.
And then it's just, there's like, I've seen 3 in my life of doing this 35 years. So they're very different than anything you see in these pictures and, photos and videos and all that. But you can't discredit everything. You definitely can't, because that's why a lot of times if I see something that I'm not, it looks a little different, I want to know what was going on. It's hard to judge sometimes because you're not there.
Sure.
So you don't know, did a car
Amen.
pull out outside and put a light in that you didn't see, that you can't see. There's a lot of different things to it, but I mean, you can't discredit everything.
And that's, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I always say, if you have something that you can't explain, well, you're a paranormal investigator. Investigate it, figure it out. I mean,
True that, Nick. True that.
Seriously, I mean, you want to call yourself a paranormal investigator, you have something to explain. That's why you're in it, the unexplainable. Well, then go figure it out.
Well, the thing is like when I'm investigating, I like to do things in like 15-minute increments of, say, put a recorder and a camera somewhere and see if we capture anything, and then go in there and talk for like 15 minutes and then go back out for 15 minutes just to collect some data to see if something's going on. So if it kind of goes back to what I was saying about, if you hear and you sync up everything with the footage you got, and then, on the EVP, was it something, was it not? And it just goes back to, well, at least we have something there and we kind of can look at it a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Orbs and how people like them. I just go, okay, we can talk about it, man. But, it's,
you know why? It's the easiest thing to capture.
Yes.
So people watch the shows, they look online, and all they want to do is, oh my God, I want to get a picture, and it's the easiest thing to capture. I could capture one in 5 minutes, so, and then they get really upset when they come in a group and they say, can someone please explain this to me? And then you explain it to them and it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the answer.
True.
Well, then that's where the education now comes really into play, and how we have to sit down and come up with like my thing with structure and stuff. That's just the cop in me. But training also comes into play. If we sit down and we create an organization that is setting up the structure, and to be part of it, you take the course, and everybody's got a point of view, and everybody's allowed to have different points of view and different ways of looking at things. But like what David was talking about with his 15-minute, if you're going to do this, then this is the proper way to do it, right? Everybody's doing it the same way. We also talk about orbs. Okay, we wave that towel in front of everybody and then show them immediately all the orbs that show up.
Yeah.
It begins to make sense. So education is a huge part, I think, of what we need to try and do.
I had this one lady on one of the groups, and she had, she was, at first she was very nice. She was asking, she just was concerned what this was. And when you watch the video, it was the the camera in her living room. And this was so explainable. I didn't know what to even say at first. The dog walks down the stairs, jumps onto the couch, and then all of a sudden, orbs everywhere, and every person in there was explaining to her what it was. And I explained why, how it caused it, what it did. And she just, one of those people that just goes on like, well, how do you know? What do you know? And I explained, I've been doing this 35 years. And this and that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care what you know. Oh,
Wow.
There's some people you're not going to, despite all training, education, whatever,
Yeah.
you're not going to convince them, and it's on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
It's really crazy when you do go into that explanation of, like, with people like Chris and I were at a Paracon and we were talking to somebody about her house, and she was just saying it was haunted, and she was just going in circles, and we were trying to tell her the same thing, and she just really didn't want to hear what we were saying, of okay, well, it might be this, might be that, might be the other thing, but we don't know, we haven't been there. And it was just it's basically what you're saying, Bill, of the dog coming down and poof, here's 500 orbs, and you're like,
I mean, there's some that, come on, but I tell everybody all the time, if whoever here does residentials, I tell people all the time, the hardest thing to do a residential is convincing somebody they're not haunted. That is the hardest thing.
Actually, I think the hardest thing is sitting down and telling them that it's your house is not haunted and it's just you.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
That's
the same thing.
That's a little difficult because you're
that's cutting to the core, Nick.
I've had to do it. I've had to do it.
I know.
You kind of lean back in the chair like this.
Yeah.
In case they swing at you or something, I mean, nobody wants to be told they're crazy. You need to see a therapist or anything like that. But hey,
Well,
yeah.
There's a whole thing we can dive in about people and residentials and things like that, but I don't know if we want to go into that right now. So
I'll save that for another topic. We'll get you all scheduled again.
That's a whole different hole to go down.
There's a reason I don't do a lot of those.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. But we do have a few questions before we get to the slides that I have. Do you want to do the questions first or the slides? I'll leave it.
You're the boss.
Okay.
Yeah,
the boss.
Let's go.
Okay. Well, Philip wants to know which is better for Orbs, lemon pledge, or a vacuum cleaner.
A duster. That'll get you all the orbs you need.
Well, lemon pledge might give you some more droplets of moisture, so I wouldn't use that.
Microfiber towel. There you go.
Yeah.
The duster just stirs them up.
But on a serious note, he says, is an orb a spirit or merely a form of energy?
No, neither.
That's going to kind of go on everybody's beliefs. Like I said, I believe it was a spirit trying to manifest itself, but
okay, so
the ones that you saw, I would go with that.
This is a very complicated question because you're talking about two different things and that don't intertwine with each other per se. If it's an actual spirit, it's trying to manifest itself, and this is the easiest manifestation they could come up with. This is the only energy you could draw around itself. Now you're talking about a very rare case. Again, like I've only seen one visually my whole life. Bill's only seen 3 in 35 years. So you're talking about something that is very rare.
Yes.
Just as rare as seeing a full body apparition. Okay.
Sure.
So again, it's hard to tell, but I would lean more towards energy versus the spirit.
Yeah,
if it's an actual
and spirit energy, that could actually be the same.
Yeah, it could be both, because if it's the spirit trying to manifest itself, the ones I saw, it was pulling the energy from the room. That's why I was getting bigger. So it's energy, but it's kind of the spirit. That's a tough call on that one.
Then Stephanie can't they be both?
I tend to believe that everything is energy. All the spirits are energy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Nick.
I agree.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't believe in the whole. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. So we'll just stick with that energy.
Pam wants to know, why are people in the paranormal still arguing about this? It's science.
Oh, wow.
It's also emotion. There's emotion involved.
Yeah.
My belief is different. Yeah, I mean that's why, because you can't get 5 people in a room and give them a question and get the same answer from all 5 usually. So it's
Larry, you're exactly saying what I wanted to say is they're making an emotional reaction
Exactly.
to something that could possibly be something, but I don't think it is. First off, it's not science. Okay, so let's that kind of get that out of the way right now. It's not science. It hasn't been proven by science. It hasn't been proven in any way. There's no theory. There's no anything about this. There are thoughts about what orbs are, but it's not science. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about you, Pam, or anything like that, but it's not science. It's not. So,
I'll back you up, David. You're 100% correct.
yeah.
It's
I
not
mean,
scientific.
There's
Go ahead.
technology behind it. I was going to say, knowing how cameras work and things, there's a technology behind it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
would agree with
wouldn't
that.
say it's 100% science. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some tangible facts that can go with it, i.e., the dog jumping on the couch and you suddenly see orbs.
Yeah.
That's a physical reaction to something.
Right.
So
Yeah. But if a dog jumps on a couch, it's not going to cause a nuclear reaction. That's science.
That's
yeah.
common
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
she did
didn't,
comment.
Pam. I didn't mean to say anything bad against you or anything like that.
Right.
It's just
Yeah, she says what she meant. Dust captured on photos is science.
Okay.
Oh,
Is
okay.
what she meant
Okay.
by.
Sorry
Yep.
about that. Okay.
We love you, Pam. We're not
Thank
making
you, Pam. Sorry about that. I just
Well,
thought it was somebody asking.
I hope you guys know Pam.
If not,
No,
email
thank you,
David.
Pam, for watching.
Yeah, I just lost a follower. Sorry.
You made me lose a follower. Thanks. No,
It wasn't me. It was a question.
There's also
I'm just teasing.
you have science on one side, but you also have TV on the other.
Mm.
So there's a lot of
Yeah.
issues there too.
Yeah.
If you
For
watch
sure.
it and Zach says it's a ghost, or they say any of those shows
Jesus.
say it's a ghost, then what happens is those people learn from the TV. They don't want to
Oh.
hear real people. They want to hear what is being presented to them as entertainment. So that's where you have a conflict.
Do you guys have any idea how many times over my 40 years on the job, somebody said, how come you can't find out in 5 minutes who the fingerprints come back to? They did it on TV. So
Exactly.
I'm
What
sorry.
are
I
you talking about,
told
dude. I thought CSI and everything like that. I thought it was a glitch. Come on, Larry. Larry, do your job. Okay.
Living in-
Download it right now.
Trust me, I
Put
got
it
that
in the
funny.
computer and
Yeah.
come back with the fingerprints right now, Larry. Please.
Yep.
Living in Vegas, I always got that's not how Zach does it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She saw a blue orb in her room not too long ago. Do orbs color wise? You hear some people talk about blue orbs are this, red orbs are that. What are your guys' theory on that?
What was the weather like?
I think it was
Yeah,
it was in her bedroom because she said it was up by her
But
ceiling.
what was the weather like outside?
Yeah, I don't remember what the weather was like.
Was it like thunderstorming or kind of like heavy static outside, or maybe raining or cloudy? Could it have been all lightning?
Not that I remember because I was here that night she saw it.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you from the 3 that I've seen,
Mhm.
again, that they're pulling energy. They were changing. They were all different colors.
Okay.
It would kind of fade in and out of different colors as it like kind of glow. It was glowing. So I don't believe the colors specifically mean anything, because I know somebody, again, in these groups, they post these things where they show each color and one is a different archangel and different things. Those are from a video game. They don't realize.
They also kind of coincide with the chakras. If you ever paid attention to that, so I don't know.
And there's also even before you're sleeping or when you're tired, there are like little balls of energy that kind of go through your eyes. It's been very documented to people when they go to sleep in space, they see orbs just going through, of lights just kind of coming through. So it could be that also. So I'm not sure.
And if your mom saw it with her eyes, I got to put a little more stock in that. But I'm a little concerned about the color thing, because you'll see different people claim that different colors mean different things. is there a standard for that? Is there a list that somebody from the other side has come over and said, this color means this and that color means that? So I'm a little leery about colors.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. She said she didn't feel threatened or anything, and it was just kind of hovering on her ceiling.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Well, I
And
hope it wasn't ball lightning. So
Well,
I
it's St.
hope
Elmo's
not.
fire.
Back
Yeah.
to the bedroom.
Yeah.
It is Florida.
yeah, that's I don't know, man. Sorry to be the bearer of bad tidings. So
No, David, that's actually a very legitimate thing.
Florida,
The
anything can happen.
ball lightning, St. Elmo's fire is a common, especially if you're in the coastal area. It's a
Yeah.
common.
It's a common thing. Yeah,
yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
okay. And a few more questions here. They keep piling on the questions, so I'm going to do just a couple more, and then we'll do the videos real quick so we can get through those. What about all those apps that are used for ghost hunt with? They're created for entertainment. Can they be trusted?
That's it. I quit. I'm out of here.
Remember that when you have an app that's on your phone, it's created by somebody to put into another device. You really don't know all the time what they've done with that app, what they've put into it.
Mhm.
There's no real control over it. You're also, by putting it into another device, you really don't know how that device is going to react to it. I am not a big believer in phone apps.
Yeah.
I'm a tech expert. During the day, I'm an IT director for like 30 years. So
You would know.
I can tell you, I would never name a name. I can tell you, I know some of them that were created, and they are for entertainment. They are.
Yeah,
some of them
absolutely.
are programmed to produce responses. They're
Mhm.
made to randomly, just like you go to a casino and pull the slot. It's randomly generated when to win. These are randomly generated. Now, some of them people will tell you, and I played around with them out in a public thing just to try them out. And I wouldn't say don't play with them, but understand that that's really can't be evidence. I mean, even if you're using one that is, let's say, doing I don't know, like a EMF, and it reacts the same way as your regular EMF. It's probably a coincidence, but again, a spirit, as we know, can manipulate electronics. So can you discredit it 100%? Probably not, but like, don't
Exactly.
use ghost tube, please. God, stay away from ghost tube.
Nick, what do you
phone,
think? I'm
your
sorry.
phone is not.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bill.
No, go ahead.
Listen, I think when everybody gets in this field, they love to see the tech that they can get. I have an equipment graveyard that is just in my closet, and for the past 2 years or so, I'm either using an analog tape recorder, an electronic one, and my flashlight. I don't really record anything to show anybody. I like to keep it up here. They're my experiences. I have my show that I do, but that's what I do. So those apps are, I agree with you 100%.
And I would also say,
sorry,
I have, and Heather's seen it, I have, if you come to a show, I got 3 tables full of equipment.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm IT, so I will buy everything and try everything. But
Sure.
I use maybe 5% of that in a person's house.
Yeah.
Never on a residential. I don't go in with SLS camera. That's just me. I mean, some people do. I don't go in with that stuff. I go in with audio, video, and a couple little things. That's it.
Yeah.
I will not bring all that stuff into a residential case.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
You don't use the necrophonic? What?
Don't start me with that.
Stephanie wants to know, what do you say to people who show you orb photos that have human faces in them, and how do you keep a straight face?
Pareidolia.
Yeah. It's matrixing,
Yeah.
Pareidolia.
They don't like that word.
Mm-hmm.
If you say that word, that you really lose them quickly. Pareidolia.
Why it's the same reason why you see faces in clouds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I tell them, you will, if you capture something, you will see it. You don't have to zoom in 300 times. The face, the spirit is not hiding as a face in a leaf across the street on a tree. Just it's not how it works.
Zoomed in 300 times.
But
Yeah.
I circled it. Come on.
I know, and it's right there. Can't you see it?
That's it. I circled it.
It's zoomed in, like you said, 300 times. Like, I can't see anything. What is this? It's blurred.
It's a demon.
And we're gonna do
What?
one more quick orb question, and then we'll get to the videos, and we'll get to the rest of the questions when we come back. Do you think there are orbs? There are a lot of other signs and paranormal activity as well, or where there are orbs?
Who wants to go? Go ahead.
We've already kind of determined that most of the time, in our opinion, orbs are a natural phenomenon. Something else is creating it. So if that's true, then that does not necessarily mean other signs of paranormal activity will exist. They could, but it may just be a coincidence.
Right.
Yeah.
And the ones I saw, I would say yes, just because of what was
Different.
going on. You know, it's very different, but you can actually feel the energy being pulled out of the room.
But
Yeah.
you saw it. You actually saw it.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And
We're
that's-
talking about
and that's
things we see.
different. And
Yeah.
that's different. That's a different ballgame then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I did some searching on the internet,
Okay.
found a whole bunch of different orbs, and
I use this
hopefully
Oh, it's outside?
this one came from Fox News 5.
Okay.
I use this one.
Oh,
in my
come on.
things, too.
Of course, now it's not working.
Here we go. Oh,
Wow, look at that orb.
Did you see that? Oh,
Spider
God.
web.
oh, you mean
Oh.
you mean the UFO that's going by right there?
This one was listed as a UFO
Mhm.
by the news.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they
Yep.
thought it was lights.
So a spider web with dew on it.
Exactly.
I figured
Sorry.
you guys would all be on the same page.
We're all a bunch
And-
of jerks
Hold on.
right now, aren't we?
We're just giving our opinion. That's all.
There you
We're all
go.
losing followers by the minute.
Well, I had people send in photos that I was going to use, and I'm like, I don't want to piss anyone off, so we decided not to use their photos.
I used to have a show. I've just been canceled. I just got a text message. Sorry.
Oh, there we go.
That's,
Spider web again.
Definitely my grandma.
And this one, actually, this
I see
one was
face.
sent local. This one was sent to a local news station from the drummer of Rascal Flatts.
oh, okay. So that's something that's outside. I think coming inside, or it's a bug.
I think it's
It's a spider web. You can see
that's
the.
what I think.
yeah. I
That's
think
why
you're
it's
right.
floating. It's floating in the air.
There's air movement. Something kicked on, and I think it's like a cobweb.
But
or
the
something.
doors are closed.
Oh no, that
There's no
means there's
air.
no circulation inside the house.
It's an airtight room.
Yeah, because he's in a band and he can't afford air conditioning.
Real quick, one of the things about the spiders that a lot of
Yes.
people don't understand is that I'll say it to people and they'll say, oh, I went there and there was no spider web. Most spiders
Uh-huh.
spin their web at night, remove them before the morning, and hide. So you
Sure.
will not see a spider web. Most of the time, what you're catching is the spider web breaking off and going.
Yes,
So that's why it sets it off.
Mhm.
I agree with that.
Okay. This one is also from another news station.
Okay.
And what it was is the camera person captured a green orb during filming.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
It's
Let me get
okay.
it. Here we go.
It's a reflection on the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You can
reflection.
see it, the whole lens.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think we're all experts. Oh, there it is again. Look, it's the sun
Oh.
reflecting off.
Well,
the
bear something in mind, guys. You know, we've
Yes.
all done this. Many people haven't. They don't. They
Oh,
just see it, and
Right.
I think we got to give them kind of a little bit of slack. We've seen
try.
thousands of these. I know. Sometimes folks don't understand what they're seeing, and once again, going back to the education thing Bill was talking
Okay.
about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I try to explain. I won't just say it's a piece of dust. I'll explain why it's dust, how it got there, why it's moving the way it does.
Sure.
As
Sure.
much as you can. That
Mhm.
they don't all listen.
But it's on the damn local news. That's just
Yep.
crazy.
They don't get it. The news folks don't get it.
News
And-
never lies.
Oh,
They're
sorry. I forgot.
they're just trying to get clicks. So no, I mean, if it was there, it'd be cool.
Would that be considered fake news?
And
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Misguided.
and this one is from a Florida museum, and it was on News Channel 2.
Okay. Here we go. Okay.
Standard.
Mhm. Uncle Larry, is that you? I'm sorry. I can't help it.
I'm loving some of these comments in the lens flare grr, fake news. Joe says it's embarrassing.
Fucking funny. I'm sorry.
I really didn't mean for this to be a laugh, but I figured we'd,
No, it's not. It's not. And I understand where people are coming from because
Right.
we're all looking for that holy grail. We're all
Mhm.
looking for that apparition that we can capture and have that really good evidence. And it's just, I mean, for the news to put this on, I mean,
Well,
I can do it right now for you in front of you. It's
whoever said they're getting clicks, it's exactly what it is. But I think
Yeah.
a lot of it is they just really don't understand.
sure.
And
sure.
the TV shows have not helped in the sense
No.
that they've perpetrated it. A lot of the tour companies haven't helped because they've
Sure.
perpetuated it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's all about education.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
you're
They-
exactly right.
Yeah, and they look at them as the experts.
But they don't have anybody else to look at.
I know.
That's what.
No, I
that's-
know. Exactly. No, but that's the thing. If they see somebody on TV, they assume
Yeah.
they
Agreed.
have the answers.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
And that's why Philip and I do this show.
What did you say?
This is
Oh, Uncle John, was that you?
At least it wasn't Uncle Larry this time.
This one
I'm
came from
sorry.
Bill.
I'm so sorry.
this one.
I'm giddy. I've been talking for like 5 hours now, and my voice is going. I got hot water with lemon. This is hilarious. Go on, please go on.
Well, this one was, I saw somebody actually post this in a group one time, and I asked them if I could use it because
Okay.
it was just a good example to explain to people. One of the biggest things, I don't know if you guys ever heard this, or I'll get is, well, it can't be dust because they were moving in different directions. Airflow goes one way. Yeah, play this one, Heather. Somebody did this to show it. And you could, if you watch, you'll see them going in every different direction against each other, and that is pure dust in the sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I use to show people. Like, yes, they can kind of go in different directions.
Are those chemtrails? Oh, sorry.
Bill, that might be a great tool. Just video a beam of sunlight coming through a window.
Yeah.
And using that as a teaching tool. See, they can go in different directions. So that's
Sure.
Right.
That's,
Yeah. No.
And then this one is also from Bill. See if I can
This
get
is one of
there.
my favorites.
Person needs it dust.
This is in Florida too, of course. He's a pastor.
Okay.
And he says that he got an orb in his house. He checked. It was definitely couldn't be a bug, couldn't be dust. There's no way. He was going crazy with this one. And here you'll be able to see it. That's why it kind of hangs there. If you look at this good on a big screen, you'll see a little bit of the actual web.
yeah.
But yeah, again, it was on the news.
Yep.
I think it was Daytona or something.
What is going on in Florida?
Looks like a comet coming down at first, like the first one.
Yeah. We're a
Right.
mess down here.
Oh, and Anton, I did receive the clips that you sent, but I was having trouble opening them, and I meant to message you. So I will get in touch with you tomorrow, and so that way I can check them out and get them opened up and looked at them. I don't know. It's probably on my end, user error. Okay. And I think that was it for videos. Now I just have some photos.
Okay.
Another one from a newspaper.
Oh, okay. That looks like a something I would see in a slide for my microbiology class.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean,
It's just dust.
it's something
outside.
that's outside.
It's, yeah.
Well, but
pollen.
you could see the flash from the light, and that's what's causing that to reflect. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
pollen really comes up a lot like that. And you'll see the little
Yeah.
fibers inside of it. And
It's just really tough. Pardon me. Of even if you're trying to get EVPs outside, it's just really tough. I mean, there's so much noise cancellation and things like this. And once again, I'm not trying to tell everybody that they're silly or they don't know what they're doing. It's just this is commonly known. So
well, I mean, if you didn't know anything and you captured that, you
absolutely
would totally think it was something. And I don't
in a
blame
graveyard
them.
also. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Come in,
Yeah.
ask questions with
Yeah.
things. I tell them
Exactly.
definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's,
Maybe 6-8 photos off.
Yep. And Pam,
What's
if
the
you're
next
still
one?
here, I'll definitely message you. I just saw Pam's comment, so I know your battery's dying, but I'll message you tomorrow as well. Okay, this one. I love it when they circle it.
Hey,
I
imagine
can't see what's going weird.
poster on the wall.
yeah. Look at the picture up there. You see it on the picture
That's okay, guys. That's a UFO.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just came out of hyperspace.
Right there in that photo.
Yeah, from the galaxy, right up there, and it will be abducting somebody tonight. So, just to let you know. So,
This came from, it was, I can't remember, but it was some type of organization that studies orbs.
Pac-Man dust.
There's an organization that studies orbs.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it while you guys discuss.
Oh, you
this one.
don't have to. Please do not. Oh,
Do you know what that looks
I
like?
do not want to be on their shit list.
I would like to know that place actually.
Are any of you guys Catholic or raised Catholic?
I am.
Do you know
I'm married. My wife's Catholic.
when you go to take communion, you get the little wafer?
Oh,
That's
The
it looks
host.
like. Yeah.
Someone took a bite though.
yeah, the priest. Oh, too soon? Too soon? Seriously?
Lens flare.
Yeah.
Glare. The flash. You can see the flash in the front of the picture off the tombstone.
Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right down
So
there.
might be a
I'm gonna have
lightning bug. Might be a lightning bug. I don't know what time of year it is there. The grass is green. I don't know where this is from. So
And so people know cell phones are notorious. And I always get them confused. I don't remember Android, Apple, which one is which. One of them constantly produces a green orb, and one of them constantly produces a blue orb with any kind of light source outside, from the sun or whatever. You'll always get that, kind of like on the video from the news that you had, that little green
Gotcha.
orb.
Mhm.
You will get that constantly on the cell phones. And again, one is blue and one is green. I forget if it's Android or Apple. I don't know why.
wow.
Different, I guess, something in their camera,
Somebody call an exorcist.
It's an
Who
invasion.
wants to take this one, man?
It was, real quick, I'm going to interrupt. It was called the Orbs Project, orbsproject.org.
Of course.
Is
it
this
was.
from them? Is this from them?
A couple of these are,
What
yeah.
did they say about this? What did they say
Oh,
about this
no.
photo?
Let me see if it's, shoot, I can't find the photo.
I feel like
Traveling.
I feel like I'm on a different planet, and there's just a bunch of different planets around me. So
Yeah, but I'll definitely get the link with the photo because I
No,
have
it's not.
that on my other
yeah,
computer.
it's okay.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, there's light in there, and
Yeah.
it's just
And there's-
it's reflecting.
Mhm.
And
that's
is it
probably
cold
mist.
out? Yeah, is it
Yeah.
cold out? So I mean, is that moisture in the air? I mean,
Going to be moisture.
yeah, I mean, you just have to look at the fog. I understand it's a really cool picture and things like that, but
Yeah.
you have to look at everything involved with the picture. I mean, if it's not a flash, then maybe we can talk, and then maybe we can see what was going on before.
Well, and if there was a series of photographs too,
Okay.
let's just say there was 3 or 4 photographs.
Yeah.
3 of them were totally clear.
Yeah.
One of them had something.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
That would, I mean, yeah, about the mist. I would.
Yeah, the mist.
Three,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
three consecutive pictures, and then one of them, the middle one, has this mist in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, it almost looks like it might have been drizzling, or
Yeah.
rain or something.
Yeah.
And they took a picture with the flash, and there you go.
I always tell them take 3 pictures in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Always
Always
take at
3.
least 3.
This is the same one we saw before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from the museum.
Yeah.
This time it's circled
Yeah.
in case you didn't see it the first time around.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Oh no,
What
they're
is
not
this?
really. No, it's not. It's not the dog. I'm sorry to say that it's not the dog.
What's
What's
the
the
face.
context of this photo?
yeah.
I
It's,
know it already because I see it a million times.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the original ones, but it was from another organization that was sharing a whole bunch of photos, and I have several of them that are orbs that are believed to contain the spirit of the animal or person photographed,
Okay.
And how do they determine this?
because it looks like it in the orb.
I don't mean to laugh.
Look,
You know,
I okay. So I do see the dog in the orb. I do see that.
I do it. I
But
see it.
but I saw it after you told me to look for it.
All right.
So there. So I mean, that's
I went
Our
to look for it
suggestion.
because I've seen this a million times with people,
Mhm.
and you can if you look. Of course, your brain does that. It's gonna see that, especially if you put the picture next to it.
Mhm.
You're gonna see it.
I
that
don't
dog
see
looks like a pit bull on the left hand side,
Yeah.
not that cuddly little dog on the right hand side. So,
Fluffy, is that you? Fluffy.
oh, Rooney, you're coming back to cuddle me. Thank you.
And again, I'm not trying to laugh at anybody, like you're saying. It's just, we see this all the
I
time.
can fully see it. It's like when you went to the mall in like the 90s and you had to cross your eyes to see those pictures, of that were all lines and squiggles and
Oh, yeah.
just
Magic
had those in
photos
there
or
and
whatever
just-
they call it.
and
Yeah,
like
and
all you
to
have
go
to
out of
do is-
focus.
yeah, just cross your eyes and you can see it. So
If really, I mean, you could tell that picture of that orb is extremely zoomed in.
yeah,
And I tell everybody now, if you
Mm,
don't believe
well
us,
said.
just take a picture of your wall right now and
Uh-huh.
zoom in on it. You'll find 20 faces. You will. I mean, it's just anything. It has a pattern. Your brain is going to create it and make you see something.
everybody is. Somebody said it looks like a cat. I'm sorry.
Crypto dog.
Crypto.
The dog, and oh, that's funny. Somebody said it looked like a pig.
That's my wife.
Oh,
Your wife said that, or your wife's a pig? What are you saying, Bill?
no,
No, don't get me in
no,
trouble.
no,
there.
no,
Staying out of this
nothing
one.
like that.
She knows I love her.
Oh,
So
is this Charlie Chaplin?
the dog
Yeah,
and
the
Charlie.
dog.
I don't know. I see both.
I still don't.
I don't see anything.
I see the dog looking one way and I see him looking straight out. I mean, because you have the picture there, your brain is going to do it.
It still doesn't do it for me. But once again, folks that vehemently feel this way, unfortunately, it becomes an emotional argument, and
Yeah.
you just can't defeat that.
I see the clown from It. So
Oh, the problem is a lot of times when people are doing things like this,
Mhm.
It's because they're grieving. Either it's the
Yeah,
pet
absolutely.
or a family member.
Absolutely.
And I tell them, I say, it's not that, it doesn't mean that they're not there. It's just you didn't capture them. I'm sure they're there with you. I'm sure they're around, but it's not what it is. I don't like to give people false hope.
Sure.
Because if they think that,
Amen.
that's what I did. I did a whole post on one of the groups one time explaining the dangers of what they say. Because I said, if you get a
Oh,
person
wow.
who's,
Yes.
who's grieving
Ouch.
and they see this and they think it's their grandmother and they're grieving for their grandmother, and you tell them it is, because people come in and they say, I'm a medium, and that's definitely your grandmother. And then what happens is now they go and they get a Ouija board and now they're trying to
Yeah.
contact grandma because she just floated around in a picture. I don't think it's good to tell them that. I wouldn't be rude, but I don't think it's good to
Sure.
give them false hope on something like that.
Sure.
Mhm. Yep.
Somebody said it was ET, so I'm going to do this. Ouch.
I see ET now more than I see the others.
That is definitely John Lennon right there. I can see it, but
course.
this goes back to you, Bill, saying that's zoomed in, 100 million times, and there you go. So
Picture of a relative who's passed in front of him, and you're going to see that one.
Mhm.
Half the problem is people associate spirits or death as, in our mind, what a spirit looks like is what you see in a TV show or the movies.
sure.
We look like
Right.
that in the spiritual realm. That is not the case. You are just a form of energy. We do not have proven facts of what we actually look like or what it is.
I agree with that.
So when you got your picture of your grandma, then you 2 months before she passed away, and then you see something else and you think it's your grandma and it looks exactly like that. Well, odds are your grandma don't look the same.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. No, that's true.
Yep.
Well, now that we've had some fun, here's
Uh-oh.
some educational tools.
Oh yeah,
There we
these
go.
are all my
from
favorites.
Bill. Yep. So, and I have more detail.
Who put out this chart? Who put out this chart, please?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I have a million of them that I've gotten over the years that are. I would love to give them credit if I knew, because some of them are really, really well done.
Mm-hmm.
This is
And let me
great.
go. And I'll post these all on Ghost Education 101 so people can see them closer.
Yep. Look at all these orbs explained.
I can see Bill having these blown up on his back car window as he's driving down the road.
Orbs are not real.
I might have to do that.
That's a good idea.
You're an IT guy.
There you
Make your back window a computer where it scrolls through them all.
No,
Yeah,
but
just
this,
scroll through.
Bill was talking about this. I mean, we see the yellow one right here of, that pollen spore of what was outside and things like that. So
Stephanie says, don't give Bill any ideas.
his next business card will be Bill. Orbs not real. Look at all those spirits, especially the one up in the right when it's snowing.
No, that's
I
a
love
whole herd.
I love the advice at the bottom of this. The best advice is simple. Don't try to get ghost pictures in the rain or snow.
I wish I knew who did these. I've been using them for years.
This is great. Oh, look at all these dust particles. There's one with a hand right in there. Where did you get this one?
I never noticed that. Oh, it must be just in front of them. What is that? Yeah.
Is that orb throwing up gang signs?
It's a baby trying to get out of the orb.
I knew this was going to be an
That's funny.
entertaining show.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Well, a lot of people I know call them dorbs for dust orbs.
There you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
Pardon me.
This is a big one that people don't understand that I try to educate them on.
Yeah,
I tell
please
them
do.
that your cameras don't have a fast enough frame rate to capture the bug in flight, and this is what it creates. And again,
Right.
if you saw that and you don't know, that's kind of freaky.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
No, okay, I have to listen. The one that is really like down, the second one, the one that's kind of crooked, it's second on the left hand side and second from the bottom. That is a real orb. Yes, that one right there. That's a real orb. That is not a fiber. Sorry, I'm a sarcastic asshole.
Well, that one has a little bit of everything going on in it.
Yeah,
Fiber, orbs.
kind of looks like a
Don't even go there.
infectious
Clean.
disease.
Hmm.
Oh, vortexes. Here we go. Okay.
You mean it's not a portal?
A lot of rabbit holes to go down here.
No. Yeah.
I get a lot of these.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those just happen. It's really tough.
I've seen some of those that are pretty interesting.
Mhm.
Oh, someone's smoking
Mhm.
or vaping. Or it's
Yep.
somebody's manifesting and we're going to see a sorcerer right in front of us with a sword.
Oh, I want to add something real quick. One of the biggest things I get from people is that they don't want to, not that they don't want to believe it, they're not agreeing with you because they don't understand how a bug or a piece of dust or
Mhm.
anything like that can be transparent or translucent. And it's the same thing, kind of like I was saying with the bugs before. Those cameras are fixed focal lenses. So when something is really close to the lens like this, or actually on the lens, it can't focus and it makes it kind of into a roundish shape because of the glow from the IR lights. And then it's transparent or translucent. And that's why it looks like that. That's why a bug sometimes looks like a big ball just moving across.
Nick, you doing okay down there?
I was wondering what he saw.
He's
I'm
just
just
laughing.
laughing at the comments.
I know, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Joe says he sees baby anacondas.
Of course he does.
And and so does your wife, Bill.
Oh, wow.
What did she say now?
Nothing.
Oh, she sees it too.
Yeah, she sees anacondas. Oh, the jokes we had from last year's convention.
Yeah.
Oh, cow. Holy cow.
A bunch of us were at one. It was bad.
Put us all in the same room. It's awful. Okay. And I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I wanted to touch on it briefly because I actually have two photos that were sent to me. One that I'm going to show you guys is a photo that was sent to me saying, check out this little girl captured in it was a Vegas office building near the elevator. And then a friend of mine who I was on his team out in Vegas, someone he had met sent him a photo. And there's I hope the photos come up clear when I show these, but there's similarities between these. But it just floors me that people use these ghost apps and even people who are, experienced investigators to prove they've captured something.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Here we
And
go.
some of them you could go in and you could see the list of things that you can put into the photo or that it randomly generates.
Mm-hmm. But this little girl on downtown Vegas was seen on a completely other night, I'd say about 20-ish miles away at a local park with an orb. I don't know if you guys can see her in the lower left-hand corner.
Yep.
And there was from the iPhone app.
Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same little girl, and the elevator just switched.
Exactly.
Oh, and then real quick, this one, I know exactly what I think this is, but this was shared all over the news last year or the year before.
Is this the
From
Gettysburg
Yep.
guy? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I saw this one.
Yeah, the ghost that comes out, the Civil War soldier. Okay. Mm-hmm.
That was water, I think.
That's what I was going
Yep.
to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's water.
Yeah.
Because if you see before he pulls up, there's something on the window that you
Yeah.
can see moving back and forth.
Just go back because he was
Replay
wiping
it
the
again.
camera too. He was wiping the camera before also. So
I was waiting for this one. I didn't see this one, but yeah.
yeah, so he wipes the camera right there. And then it looks like it's wet outside anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's without question.
Oh,
Yeah, that's water.
Yeah.
That's water.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Yep. And that one was all over the news.
But you put it in Gettysburg with all the things that do happen there. It
Yep.
people
Yeah.
get excited.
yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'd love if that was real, but I mean, you can totally say that's water.
Mhm.
So
That's another thing I tell people. I'll be the first person to tell you if you captured something interesting that could be. I hope you do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, I'm not trying to discredit anybody, but
no, and you know, like we said, of you know, when I look at John Lennon's picture and then I look at the orb that you're there, I mean, John Lennon just comes into focus because I'm already focused on John Lennon and getting in there.
Right.
You know, I don't know. It's, you know, people can believe if they want to, and
Sure.
I'm not gonna. I can have a good laugh and things like that. And you know, Bill, you've had experiences with like 3 of them. You know, Nick and Larry, I'm not sure your experiences with orbs, but I have not had an experience with an orb. You know, that I can fully back up and say, hey, this was real. This is what happened before. This is what's going on. You know, and this is what happened after. You know, so you know, if they want to believe that that's a ghost, cool, man. You know, I'm not here to, you know, rain on your parade, but I'm going to tell you my opinion. If you don't like it, then that's cool.
Right. I usually only do it when somebody asks. When they put it in a group and they say, "Can somebody explain this or tell me what this is?" or you know, something like that. If they just post a picture, most of the time I won't say anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and all those orb photos with the images in them that I shared came from, it's called the orbconnection.com. And she has a full gallery on her website of orb photos, orbs and animals, and orbs with faces.
Nice. Nice.
Cool.
Where can I subscribe to that?
Is that on Patreon?
Orbconnection.com. No, I don't know. It's all right here on,
Oh, okay.
Google it. No.
How did you find that? Did you just like Google orbs?
Yeah.
You'd be amazed at what you could find.
I know. I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. But.
And I did find a couple. There's one guy, he does a lot of videos on Facebook. And I'm not going to call him out, but he sits in an attic and he's just surrounded by orbs and he videos it and he talks to them. And it's like, you know, and I get it. He's happy. It's his happy place.
Yeah, it makes him happy.
More power to you, man. Have fun.
I just look at it as if you are truly interacting with an intelligent entity, it's smart enough. It's going to avoid you at all costs. You're never going to get it on camera. You know, that's just the way I look at it. I mean, I've seen one orb, like I said, that's it. I still question what I saw, to be honest with you. I've seen 2 full body apparitions in my lifetime. And both times I was not investigating. I was at the location, but I was working, doing something else. alone in the building. If you get my drift, like they know what you're doing. If you're
Sure.
truly interacting with something that intelligent.
The best evidence is never captured.
Yeah, I
Pretty
mean
much.
the only thing
Always seen.
the only thing I had is when I was a child, and I at least think I saw my great grandmother, but that goes back to the theory that I have with people that we talk to of when they started having paranormal experiences is when you're a child, is when you're more open and not so jaded in life and things like that.
Mhm.
So
Yep. Yeah, I know Stephanie, or not Stephanie, Michelle just commented that she took a picture she saw an orb, took a picture of it, and it looked like a piece of dust in the photo. And she started to question too if she really saw it with the naked eye.
yeah. I mean, if you see something like with light like come through, I mean, you got to check everything out. You can't just jump to conclusions. You just cannot do it. Because our word is our bond, in this field. Whether you've been, doing this for 2 weeks or, 20 years or 35 years like you, Bill, and just everything. And it's the same thing with you, Larry. I mean, you being a peace officer, and thank you for your service. I really appreciate it. It's your word is your bond.
Amen.
People trust you. And, if you come out with something and it's just not, you understand what I'm saying. It's just not cool when people do that. So,
well, you can hurt people too. I mean, when
Yeah.
they listen to you, they take your word.
Yeah.
You can hurt them
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, at least by not giving them the right information. So I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very tough. And, when we're talking about orbs and we're having some fun with this and things like that, but when people do see something, just make sure you kind of look at other things just to kind of back it up and things like that. So even if it is a personal experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the tough part with this field because we're so serious all the time. It kind of helps to break loose like this now and then, and it's not because we're making fun of anybody.
What are you talking about? No.
I knew the minute you came up.
Fun. No, my investigations are hella fun. Nobody. I have a rule. Nobody is allowed to cross their arms when they come to my investigations. If they cross their arms, they have to go outside for 10 minutes and do 30 push-ups and then come back inside. So their arms hurt, so they can't hold them like this.
and
Sorry.
dressed in all black.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I encourage people to take photos. I tell them,
Yeah.
even in those things, I'm like, hey, listen, keep taking photos, keep coming in here and asking, learn a little bit about
Sure.
it. And one day you're going to get a good capture,
Yeah.
but know what you're looking for. Don't just hope every photo is going to be something, because let me tell you, every photo is nothing. I've been doing this a long time, and even like what you see on a TV show in that hour, I've been places for 6, 7, 8 hours and saw it and heard nothing. It's
Mm-hmm.
common.
The longest night in the world.
Yes.
You're just like,
And what people don't understand is, like, when we filmed the documentary, we spent hours upon hours investigating for the documentary, and we got maybe 2 EVPs.
Yeah.
And that's what was showed. But in a 90-minute episode, it's like, oh, look at all this evidence they captured. It's like, but you didn't realize we were there for days.
Yeah, exactly.
We were there for 2 weeks.
I'm very rarely even investigating at night anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just quit. There's no point. I'm too old. I want to go to bed.
Oh, that's so funny. I agree with you on
I do
that
know
one.
one thing. When I do pass away, on my headstone, I want to, underneath my name, I want it to say I identify as an orb.
This man will come back as an orb.
One man's dust
It
is
will
another man's
prove
orb.
you all wrong.
And then put a solar panel on the top with a flashlight
Yeah.
so that at night the light shines.
And always be hooked up to StreamYard, so all those orbs are just flying around all night, so you're just streaming the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one guy who passed out. They passed out Ouija boards at his funeral with a thing that said "Keep in touch." I guess it's what he wanted. Now that's great. I mean, that is
That's pretty
great.
good. That's pretty good. Absolutely.
So, I heard somebody say one time they say they go, after my funeral, I want somebody to take my phone and send out a mass text and say thank you for coming.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
so funny.
Amy had asked earlier, do the movements of orbs mean something? I know we talked about it a little bit, but
I mean,
Yeah. I wouldn't say they mean something, but like the ones I saw that I believe are real moved very intelligently. They didn't
Mhm.
move to airflow. It was hovering. It was almost like it was looking at you. So I don't know if the movements mean anything, but they definitely you could tell the difference between a movement of a real orb and a piece of dust.
Yeah.
Sure.
You have no way of telling what kind of manifestation and what it's going to look like, how it's going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say no.
True that.
You're just
True that.
guessing. If
Yep.
you're going to hear and say something,
Mhm.
oh, that means they love you. It went that direction.
okay. And then, my computer's going slow.
It's okay.
She had also asked earlier, I've called detectives many times to help with missing persons on murder cases. Do you think they just totally ignored me? This one's for you, Larry.
Yeah. I will tell you right up front, Amy, early in my career working homicides, I would get calls from mediums and psychics telling me the piece of evidence here, the body's there, that type of thing. And they never, ever panned out. Like a lot of cops, I had a very negative point of view at first. As I got older, I opened my mind a little bit, had some other personal experiences that we don't have time to go into today. My opinion has changed. My opinion has evolved, shall we say. But yeah, I would say it could be a couple of things. Yep, sometimes they'll just ignore you because, we cops sometimes get a little stubborn, and I'm sorry for that, but we're human too. Other times there just may be other pieces of evidence have taken them in other directions and they don't put enough priority to what you've seen. If I could go into the Wayback Machine and be a younger detective now, I probably would look at things a little bit differently. But it's tough. Cops, you got to understand, look at very tangible pieces of evidence. We have to take tangible pieces and go to court to prove or disprove something. And it's difficult with what mediums say. Now, I think that's changing. I think more folks in my business are becoming more open-minded with it. But yeah, long answer to your question. Sometimes they may just ignore you, and I'm sorry for that. They just haven't opened up their minds enough.
Yeah.
So
a lot of them don't believe. They go more on the science.
Well, you have to in our business because that's what goes to court.
Right.
But you'd be shocked. You'd be shocked, Dave, how many of us now have a different view. The last 10 years, last 15 years has changed a lot of guys. I have a lot of cops that I have on my show. We're even starting an organization for cops that are paranormal investigators. So it is evolving and changing, but it's still a tough road.
Are you working with Ernie Atwell down in Baltimore? Larry?
Me? No.
Oh, he's a peace officer also down in.
I would like to talk with him because if he's a paranormal investigator, love to have him part of what we're building.
Yeah. We'll connect off air, and I will get you in touch with him. Absolutely,
excellent.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to just add one more thing to Amy's question there. Mm-hmm. I also think, and Larry, tell me if I'm wrong, that since some of them, don't believe it, they also can't verify if this person is legit or not, and they're not going to take all the resources to go out there and follow their lead because they don't know if this person is real or not.
Yeah, and been there, done that.
Right.
People, once again, we go back to the TV thing we were talking about earlier. People just take what they see on TV and they think that it's reality. It's not. You have a finite amount of time, a finite amount of resources, and you're right. You're going to go to where the evidence is more likely to take you. Now, keeping that in mind, if a person, a medium comes in and has information and they're listened to and that produces something tangible, you will see detectives run with that more often today, more so than ever before.
Sure.
But you're right. Just a random cold call in. I have a vision of a red car next to a pond. They're probably not going to spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah.
So if somebody calls in on a case, and let's say that the deceased lady is named Amanda, okay, and now this lady on the phone says Amanda's buried in the woods 65 yards northwest of blah blah blah. You go out there, you find the body. Now you're talking with this medium, and she's like, yeah, I'm 100% sure that her husband Bill killed her and buried the body. That's great, but you still have to physically prove Bill did it.
Yeah, in fact,
you can't just go to court and be like, well, the medium over there said Bill did it, so
nope. You are 100% correct. But that's why we're detectives. We have to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and that's where a lot of this comes from. You can't put the puzzle together with something that you can't prove. So that's why a little bit of information that they can work with will end up giving the medium a lot of credit, and they'll be used. Cases have been solved with the help of a medium. So don't lose that.
I wonder if anybody's ever used that as a cover. Like they kill somebody and they bury them, and they call up and be like, I know where they are. I can see that they're buried over here. That's a good way to take yourself right out.
Well, yeah, and don't think that we haven't looked at stuff like that either. So you're 100% correct. It's this whole field's evolving, folks. And once again, training and education comes into play here. We get folks to work with law enforcement that have this gift, and there are many out there that do, and it can become very successful. I wish I had more of an open mind when I was younger.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, when is it the psychic become the suspect?
I've never seen that actually happen, but it is certainly something that has been talked about.
Yep. Okay. And this question I absolutely love, because science is my thing. She wants to know, when science and the paranormal, will they intersect? I personally think they already have.
Yeah.
We're just we keep calling ourselves a pseudoscience, which I call that the bad word, because I don't think we're a pseudoscience. We just need to get all on the same page and research the same way.
Standards, structure.
Yep. Use the scientific method the best we can.
Yeah. Just collect your data and do experiments, do different things that are outside the box. A thing I did is, everything seems to drain batteries all the time when we're on investigations, right? So I bought a car battery and hooked up a meter to it to see if it was starting to drain. Okay, going 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, and see something like that. If it can drain a battery here or whatever, why can't it drain a car battery? So it's just something of, trying to, look out the box, or
that's what we got to do.
Yeah. Work with static electricity, get styrofoam, put it in the glass bowl, see if the styrofoam goes to one side or the other when you're investigating. Try it out. You never know.
Little styrofoam peanuts and lay them in a hallway with a camera on them.
Yeah. And see
learn your equipment. When you get equipment, research how it works and what can cause false positives, what can trigger it, what can, anything. You learn about it, not just, I put it in the lights flashing and, know what can cause that.
Put your phone on airplane mode.
Yeah.
Leave your phone in the car.
Yeah.
Don't
How
go
do I use the app
with a walkie-talkie.
But I have my apps on.
What? Oh no.
Yeah. How do I?
Well, you use the ghost radar will tell you which way you need to go. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. No, shoot, I don't even have my phone next to me. I actually downloaded a ghost app the other day, one of those SLS ones, just to experiment with, to use as an explanation. And the minute I turned it on, I had like 15 ghosts in front of me, because it mapped the chair, the couch, the dog.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I was like, my house is haunted.
Your house is so haunted. Are you in St. Augustine?
No. I should have cleansed before we moved in more.
I got a funny story about the SLS. So, like most people many years ago, to my right, I have a whole closet full of equipment.
Awesome. Yes.
Now, when I
Me
got
too.
the SLS camera, it's like, oh, this thing is so cool, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
After a couple investigations, we're doing this case. And when I realized that the Christmas tree wasn't an actual ghost, I've never used the SLS again. I was done with it. I just put it away.
What are you talking about? Things are crawling on the ceiling, Nick.
I know.
You know it's
I tell
legit.
people one of the really only times you could really consider something on there even possible is if it moves. And I don't mean like it goes like this. If I had something in
Not like
we were in
that
an
air thing
abandoned
at the
prison.
car dealership going.
Yeah. I had one actually run off the screen.
Okay.
Now that I don't know. I mean, we immediately had the flashlights on looking for animals. We're in an abandoned prison, but
Sure.
it's it's one of those things where most of the time they just stand there and kind of dance around. Or you got to understand how the SLS works, what it was made for. It's made to constantly map. I've seen it map stick figures out of wallpaper patterns, out of the patterns on the bricks. I mean, there's so many different things, but there's a fraction of a percentage of something where it could be something. I've seen it like once or twice that really baffled me, but
Yep.
We were on an investigation one time, and one person had the SLS camera. I have my actual camera. So I'm video what's going on in front of me plus their SLS. The lady in front that we were filming, a figure popped up on the table behind her. And typically, you ask it like, hey, can you move your right arm up and down? Can you shake your left leg type of thing?
Right.
Try to get some intelligent reaction. So I said, there's a figure right behind you to your right. So she kind of turns like this. So she's feeling for a cold spot. And I said, hey, her hand's up. Can you give her a high five?
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah.
And I gave her a high,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is that a good intelligent reaction?
Right.
I just
That's
don't
what
like
you look for.
Yeah.
With anything, you look for the intelligent, responses.
Well, none of our equipment has ever been 100% proven to give us anything.
No.
Right.
I mean, when you think about it, so that you got, and what we like to try and do is almost like triangulate it, have 2 or 3 pieces of equipment, and if you've got everything reacting, well, now you can really put something to it. But
Yep. Okay. And if you guys have any more questions, please make sure you ask them now. We have a few more minutes left.
Sure.
But Aiken wants to know, what does it mean when objects move?
not sure.
Well,
Dude, run.
there's 2 different things too, man. I know
there's multiple layers of that question there.
Yeah.
I know Heather knows this because in parapsychology, there's a lot of studies about how poltergeist activity is actually caused by the energy from teenagers, especially female teenagers, going through puberty and everything, that their energy is so strong that it's actually moved stuff in the homes.
Yep. Yeah. And the whole psychometry thing, you don't know what energy you're giving off.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole thing we can take a really deep dive
Absolutely.
about what's going on and things like that. That's above my pay grade, so I'm going to pass you off to somebody else because I'd be like, well,
But
I don't know what's weird,
so
but I'm going outside
cool.
right now because that was pretty weird.
It's so cool to watch something move,
I'm going to
though.
ground and protect myself. I'm going to get my truck and drive home.
Okay. Well, we are caught up on questions. Do you guys have anything else you want to add before we wrap things down?
No, thank you for having me again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
this was really good and very entertaining. I'm glad I picked a really good group for this topic.
Yeah, I was very curious as to. I sent Heather a text. I'm like, what does everybody think about these things before we got on here?
No.
I didn't want to piss anybody off.
Might have been fun to have somebody with a different point of view, though. That might have been interesting.
Always.
Yeah. I guess we were kind of bashing people, and but I mean,
it's all
Larry,
fun.
I understand what you're saying, but come on, man.
With what? With what? What do you mean?
No, this is a real ghost. Look at it. It's John Lennon in there. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
And
I can't convince you. It's what you believe, and that's fine. You know, I'm not
Yeah.
here to, do anything, against you or anything like that. You know, I'm not here to crap on you, but we'll have a good discussion and kind of go from there. You know, So,
As long as the discussions can be civil, that's what we've lost in our society today, is the ability to have civil discourse, to talk to each other, have different points of view, and
Yeah.
that's what we got to get back to.
yeah.
I agree.
And I'll say one other thing too about energy. Like we were talking before about energy. My wife doesn't do anything with ghost hunting, but she works with energy and she does feng shui and she does all kind of things. And she even taught me some more things I didn't know about energy. I'll just say one thing real quick. So I used to buy her flowers and the flowers would die in a couple days. And I used to laugh at her telling her, I'm not buying your flowers anymore. You keep killing the flowers. And she said, no, that's the energy. And she cleansed the energy in the house. And then the flowers 2, 3, 4 weeks without a problem. And I saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. People don't realize what energy can do in a home.
Yep, exactly. And I know there was a comment because a viewer did send in photos, but like I said, I couldn't get the video open, but we will have another panel discussion on evidence, which I'll be doing in a couple months. So we'll make sure we get people on here to discuss different types of evidence that has been sent in as well.
Sure.
So if you guys want to real quick before we close things out, let everybody know where they can find you.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I got so much stuff. Somebody's got to go before me.
Well, I'll start. You can get a hold of me. Our website is IndianRiverHauntings.com. It also comes up to the paranormalfbi.com. That'll get you to our websites. YouTube channel is at Indian River Hauntings 2341, I think.
I think so.
On YouTube, you just hit Indian River Hauntings. You'll see some of our videos. And of course, Facebook on both.
Okay.
My website is billslevin.com. All my social media is at Slevin Paranormal, and my team is PERSFL.com.
Nice.
Well, I guess
Your turn, Nick. Yeah, your turn.
Old World Paranormal Society. So it's spelled OLDE as in old.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill Old.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, you name it. Old World Paranormal Podcast is on all major formats. If you want to personally reach out to me, just Nick Carboni. Pretty simple.
Nice.
Yep.
You can find our 100 Lives on all social media sites from TikTok to Twitter. You can go to our100lives.com, although I have not been keeping up with it. You can catch our show, Our 100 Lives, on Paraflix, streaming the paranormal. If you don't want to pay for it and just kind of try it out, there is a 3-day free trial that you can do. It's really kind of cool. If you do want to do it, put in OHL 25 and I will get you 25% off for your first year. You can come see us. We're on the road this year. Come out to Philly. We're going to be in Philly at Fort Mifflin, August 12th. We're going to be at the Hell House Paracon. We'll also be up at Mass Paracon and some different things like that, and around different places. Christy is also doing an event with the Ghost Hunter Girls with Patty Negri, Natalie Jones, Haley Michelle, Moon Girl, Cosmic Divine in October in Texas. I forget the location, but you can just look that up on stuff like that. So we've got a lot of stuff coming on. I really appreciate the invite to come up here. It's fun to talk to new people and meet new people, and
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
really fun.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, David.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it, Larry. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you guys for joining us. Of course, you can find Ghost Education 101 on Facebook at Ghost Education 101 or on YouTube it's actually at Ghost Education. I finally got the 101 dropped off of that one because of issues. But then you could also find me. Someone reported our old channel and it got shut down, so we had to start over. But you could also find me. I host 2 radio shows on WLTK DB Radio, Exploring the Paranormal, Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. Or you can find me with my co-host Joe Frankie on Thursday nights with Passport to the Paranormal starting in June. And next time when Ghost Education 101 returns on June 7th, we will have special guest Ron Stokes to talk about a couple different projects that he is working on. So thank you again, guys, for joining us. Had a great time, and I'll definitely have you all on again. And thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Nice meeting you.
See you guys down the road.
Bye.